story of how and why I converted to Catholicism. I grew up with no religion, and I feel like this could help somebody, so I wanted to share it with the class. So my grandparents were Catholic. My dad was raised in the Catholic Church, but he is one of those people who kind of resented Catholicism because of how much they went to church growing up. He just wanted nothing to do with it when he turned 18. He was like, I'm never going back to that church, and he did not. My mom was raised with no religion, just like random Christian, like, yeah, I believe in God, I guess. And it wasn't like I was raised atheist, but my parents just wanted me to have the option to pick my own religion, which I did. I was a big hippie. I'm still a big hippie, okay? I've always been that way. I believed in like the earth, the universe, the energy, the vibes, the path of the universe, all that stuff. Anyway, so when I started dating my husband, he was Catholic, and he wasn't like super Catholic. He just was Catholic and went to church every once in a while, right? His family was Catholic. So one day, probably like 6 months into dating, he was like, hey, we're gonna all go to church as a family on Sunday. Do you want to go with me? And I went with them to church and didn't think anything of it. I didn't walk into church and go, oh my God, I'm gonna be a Catholic now. Like it wasn't like that. I just went to church and was like, cool. Went through the motions, got up 1,000 times, and then left. He was okay with how I felt about God, how I felt about religion in general. But a big turning point for me was I went to a Catholic wedding. I had never been to a Catholic wedding. And if you've ever been to a Catholic wedding, you know how beautiful and moving and deeply traditional and loving they are. I had just never experienced anything like that. I cried. I literally cried when I left because I was like, that was so beautiful. That was so moving. And that kind of sparked my interest into the Catholic Church. But I am somebody who is stubborn. I am so stubborn, okay? So you cannot convince me of anything. You cannot tell me anything. I will not be told what to do. I need to come up with it on my own. Like, I need to be the one to make the jump by myself. I cannot be persuaded into it. So I say all that to say that when I got this inkling that maybe I would like to learn more about the Catholic Church, it wasn't that I wanted to dive fully in to being a Catholic. It was never that. I just wanted to learn more, and I was really afraid to voice that to anybody, because even my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, because I didn't want someone to take that and run with it. I didn't want someone to take that and be like, oh, let me show you everything God's love, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Like, I did not want all that energy. Like, that energy scared the shit out of me. Like, I did not want all that, okay? And I think that a lot of people coming into the church are afraid to admit that. They feel like it's wrong to say they don't like that energy. I'm gonna say right now, I still don't like that energy. I don't like that. I will talk about God's love all day, but I'm not somebody to push that down your throat. I'm not somebody to push religion down your throat. I didn't want that. I was terrified of somebody doing that to me. So for a long time, I just kept it a secret that I felt that way. And for a couple years, I teetered on it. And then when it was time for me and my husband to get married, I was like, well, I think I want a Catholic wedding, because I thought it was so beautiful. And he was totally on board because he's Catholic, right? So no harm, no foul. I ended up having this Catholic wedding. And if you don't know, when you get married in the Catholic Church, you have to go through classes. You have to commit yourself to raising your children Catholic if you get married in the Catholic Church. That's just part of it. And I did that. I realized I cannot commit to something that I wouldn't do myself. So I can't tell my kids, I want you to be Catholic, I'm going to raise you Catholic, but I'm not a Catholic. After that, I really started really thinking about it. And I didn't become Catholic right away. I didn't become Catholic before our wedding. I wasn't a confirmed Catholic at our wedding. I didn't do it right away. I did not rush. I remember I went through RCIA the year after our wedding. And RCIA is what you go through when you're an adult trying to become a Catholic. I tried to go through it, and I dropped out after 2 classes. And my priest, who I love dearly, told me, when you are ready, you will feel like you want to come here. And if you don't want to be here, then you're not ready. And if you think this is too much of a commitment, then you're not ready. So I wasn't ready. And at the time, I was so offended by that. Like, I was so offended. I was like, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing this. Wow, they just blah, blah. I don't know why. I was just so offended by that. I waited a year. I joined the next class of the next year. And by that time, I had my son. If you know from my other videos, I went through a very traumatic pregnancy, very traumatic birth of my son. He had medical issues, and I had to lean on God so heavily during that time. I could not do it by myself. I had to do it with God. I had to do it with my faith. And so by the time I went through it again, it was nobody's idea but mine. I didn't even tell anybody I was going through it. My husband knew, obviously, and my family. My father-in-law was my sponsor, but I did not tell anybody I was going through it. I did not want anybody's opinion. I didn't not want anybody's outside persuasion of anything. I wanted it to be my decision alone and my journey alone, and it was. So that year, I decided to go through it, and I was totally ready because I wanted it. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be there. I wanted to go to church more. I wanted to be baptized, and I wanted to be confirmed, and I wanted all those things for myself. This past year, I got baptized and confirmed, but I just say all this to say that you don't have to go into it when you have a little suspicion that you may want to do something like that with Catholicism or any other religion. You don't have to go into it so gung-ho. It can take time to fester and manifest. You can be totally in it when you are ready.